Good evening and welcome to Irish Cup Live on LFS with me, Caoimhan Ferris, tonight as we watch Cliftonville take on Ards at Windsor Park. The holders looking to make it back-to-back titles in the Irish Cup for the first time in over 120 years. We will see if they can do that tonight as you join me for this live watch-along commentary of this game. Looking forward to this one tonight. It's semi-final time of the Irish Cup, and holders Cliftonville looking to head to a second successive Irish Cup final. Standing in their way are championship opposition Ards, who themselves would love to head to an Irish Cup final for the first time since 1993. Jim Dilton's Reds are 9-time winners of the competition, ending their 45-year spell without an Irish Cup title against Linfield at Windsor Park last season. For Ards, it's been 51 years since they last tasted Irish Cup success, beating Ballymena in the 1974 Irish Cup final, making it their fourth title. Tonight, the two sides meet for the 10th time in the Irish Cup and an 8th time in the semi-final of the competition. However, it's their first meeting in this competition in 13 years, with the last ending in a 2-0 victory for Cliftonville back in 2012, before they had those back-to-back league title wins. Of course, the current holders of this competition, Cliftonville, and we will assess how they've got here and what we've to look forward to tonight's game, which kicks off in around about 15 minutes' time. A bit less than that. But we are down to the final four in this competition now. Two Premiership sides face off against two Championship sides. Cliftonville take on Ards tonight, and then Dungannon Swifts, the Premiership side, take on Bangor tomorrow. That's at the Oval in East Belfast. A place in the 2025 Irish Cup final awaits two of our teams, with Cup glory on the line and a trophy to lift at the end of the season. Tonight, as I said, our focus is on the current holders and League Cup champions. Cliftonville are looking to complete back-to-back Irish Cup successes for the first time since 1901, when they won their 4th and 5th titles in this competition in 2 seasons. They take on Ards, who themselves hold a barren spell in this competition, having not been in the final in 32 years, without an Irish Cup title in 51 years. So, of course, this is an exciting affair tonight, but it is the first Irish Cup coverage here, an Irish football coverage on LFS, and we're great to have you with us tonight with me, Caoimhan Ferris, for this one, and hopefully we get a good game and a game you can enjoy with me here this evening. Well, let's kind of start tonight's coverage of the game. I have the list of both teams in front of me, because I gotta tell you, although I follow these teams every week, it's getting the names right that's important, and it is important to get the names right tonight, and a few details about the players as well. But, as I said, before we look to the game, which kicks off, as I said, at 7:45, we're going to have a look and see how they got here, really, first off, because this is not a competition that can really throw up some stern tests in the early rounds of the competition, or you can get a nice, comfortable run. There's been a mix for both teams. We'll start with Cliftonville. This is their run, road to Windsor, is what we're calling it. So this is their road to Windsor Park so far. The round 5, they beat Premier Intermediate side Banbridge at home fairly comfortably at Solitude by 4-0. Then in round 6, they had a tie against a fellow Premiership side Glenavon, and that home game, they were close battle in that one. 3-2 it finished. And then that North Belfast derby in the quarter-final away at Crusaders at Seaview, and they won by 2-1 Cliftonville that night. So some tough, close battles with Premiership sides, but a pretty comfortable one in round 5. That has them here in this semi-final against a Championship side in Ards tonight, at a neutral ground, of course. The semi-finals of the Irish Cup and the final all at neutral ground, so that no team can have home advantage and that type of stuff. It's quite common in semi-finals. If you watch the FA Cup, that's quite common in the FA Cup as well in England. So Ards and Cliftonville facing off at a neutral ground tonight at Windsor Park, of course the home of Linfield, and of course the Northern Ireland men's national team. To Ards and how they've got to this position. Let's have a look at their road to Windsor. They had a real tough start. A Premiership side, Ballymena United, away from home in round 5. That it was at the time a real giant killing. Ballymena were on a great run of form, moving up the table and really looking towards kind of battling for top 6 spot this season. Ballymena, which has been unaccustomed to the side who were battling relegation last season. So Ballymena, a tough round 5 tie for Ards, a big one to overcome. They came over that game 2-1 winners away from home. They had a pretty easy tie in round 6. Oh, no disrespect to Moyola Park, but a one they should have won, and they did by 3-1 away from home. And then another stern test, albeit against the Premiership's bottom side, Loughgall, who are almost certain for relegation. They had them at home, but it was still a very good win to beat Loughgall 2-0 there for Ards in that one. They had that game at home, of course, at Clandyboy Park, which they, of course, share with the other semi-finalists in Bangor as well. So that was their quarter-final victory, and then, of course, facing Cliftonville here tonight. Their third Irish Premiership battle, against Irish Premiership sides in the Irish Cup this season. They've beaten the previous two, home and away. There's no reason why they couldn't do the same tonight against the League Cup champions and the current holders of the Irish Cup, Cliftonville, who, of course, claimed that glory when they beat Linfield, perennial rivals, Cliftonville and Linfield, for their political stances in recent years. Those two clubs battling it out at Windsor Park in May last year, and Cliftonville ending their 45-year wait for a trophy in that one last May. 3-1 victors. Ronan Hale, who's currently not at the club anymore, on away to Ross County in Scotland now, and he scored the third and decisive goal that settled the tie in extra time and confirmed Cliftonville as Irish Cup champions. Of course, Jim Magilton has been kind of a cup genius with Cliftonville since joining, of course, the Irish Cup last season. Got them quite well in the League Cup as well, and then this season a League Cup victory against Glentoran, another big Belfast side who they beat in the final after extra time. Joe Gormley, of course, Joe the goal as always. Who else would score the winner in that final for Cliftonville, and now into an Irish Cup semi-final for the second successive season under Jim Magilton. They faced Larne in last season's semi-final. I wouldn't say it's the same type of test. Larne, of course, were the reigning champions of the Irish Premiership last season when Cliftonville faced them. A very different test to a mid-table championship side. But again, Jim Magilton's taking no prisoners in this evening's game, and maybe taking no kind of preemptive kind of, oh, well, Cliftonville are just going to win this game. He has really stayed calm, collected, and said that it's going to be a stern and tough test, and it's not going to be as easy for a side as just being its Premiership v Championship. The Premiership side could come out on top, as we've already seen from their road to Windsor Park already this season. Ards are capable of overcoming bigger opposition and so-called kind of better opposition in that sense in Premiership sides. They've already done it twice. There's no reason why they couldn't do it a third time and complete what has been would be an incredible Irish Cup campaign for them if they were to find victory and head through to the Irish Cup final. We will see if they can do that. Now, we looked at how we got here. I want to look actually at the quarterfinals as a whole, because of course we won't be live for the second semi-final, which is tomorrow evening between Dungannon and Bangor. That is a 5:30 kickoff tomorrow at the Oval. But let's just show you what the quarterfinals looked like and how all of our semi-finalists got to where they are. A big win for Bangor at home at Clandyboy Park. That was a massive victory over Glentoran. 3-1 winners there, Bangor. They were 3-0 up in that game in the first half against the Premiership side, who are currently third in the table, Glentoran at the moment. Cliftonville, of course, coming out on top against North Belfast rivals Crusaders. Ards knocking out Premiership side Loughgall, and then Dungannon Swifts winning that all-Premiership battle away at Carrick Rangers. That were the quarter-finals, and how our four semi-finalists got to this position. Of course, the two away sides being Premiership victories, and the two home victories being Championship sides claiming victory. Of course, Bangor and Ards, the only two remaining Championship sides in the competition in the quarterfinals, both progressing to this season's final four. So a massive feat for those two, especially, I would say, Bangor's feat over Glentoran. A massive victory that was when it happened. And I've been to Bangor a few times this season in the Irish Cup as well. I wasn't there for the quarter-final, but I was there for the two games leading up to that quarter-final for Bangor. And what an inspired club, and what a season they're having, looking for automatic promotion to the Irish Premiership, to the top side in the Championship, and looking for promotion this season. Lee Finney's side. We will see if they will join us in the Premiership next season, but for now it's on to tonight's game. 4 minutes to go until kick-off at Windsor Park. It's Cliftonville, it's Ards. The team news is in, and we're going to get the teams for you here now. Let's start with not the home side. I usually say the home side. They're not the home side tonight. They're not at home at Solitude, but they are the designated home side. This is the Cliftonville team on the left-hand side of your screen there. Lewis Ridd starts in goal. He made some massive saves in that League Cup final for Cliftonville against Glentoran. He starts in goal tonight. This is a number order. They've gone for a back 3/back 5, I believe, at Cliftonville this evening. Sean Stewart starting on that right-hand wing-back role. A back 3 of Johnny Addis, Jack Keeney and Luke Conlon in a back 3. And then in left wing-back, we believe it's Shay Kearney. He starts... We'll, of course, have commentary of the game in just a few moments. Do stay with us, as we will have that for you. There's the teams, by the way, on your screen on the left-hand side there. The two lineups as they line out this evening for this one. I'm looking forward to seeing kind of what both sides give tonight. You know, there's a Cliftonville side that have had a poor league campaign. A really poor league campaign, to be fair, finishing in the bottom half for the first time in quite a number of years. And then an Ards side who have been a bit mix and match this season in the championship. We'll see what they have to offer this evening in this one, as we're about to get underway, I believe. Waiting on the call from the referee. And there we are. We are underway in this season's 2025 Irish Cup, first of our semi-finals. Cliftonville in the red, Ards in their away strip this evening of all white, so we'll keep an eye on that and how that progresses. Of course, the two sides not in their home strips, which I believe they would be, because Ards' home strip is blue, so I thought that would be a continuation, but not this evening. They've tried to go for something different. As I was saying, you know, it'd be interesting to see what we get from both sides. Cliftonville, as I said, bottom half of the Irish Premiership this season. An Ards side that maybe could have had a promotion push. I mean, they're 10 points off second place, so they could maybe scrape a playoff place if it comes to that point. If they can really pull off what would be an incredible end to the season. As Joe Gormley there trying to lay it off. Ryan Curran tried to lay it off to Joe Gormley, but intercepted well. As Ards try and break down the left-hand side here. Nice little move. And the ball into the box, low and hard, cleared away by Johnny Addis. Not clean distance on it, but it did get it clear of danger, at least momentarily, as Rory Hale now brings it down in the midfield for Cliftonville. Of course, got a rest at the weekend, last weekend against Carrick Rangers. Did the Cliftonville skipper. Here is Harry Wilson. Back to Addis. Down the left-hand side it comes for Cliftonville. Conlon. Back to Addis again. He plays it into midfield for Harry Wilson. Looking to get the ball moving early on. That's the first time ball by Keeney. Into the path of Gordon. Lays it off now to Kearney on the right-hand side. Cliftonville looking to get a bit of early possession here in this one so far. Here's Addis again. Commanding. Nice little ball. Gordon takes it on the turn. Bodies forward here for Cliftonville as Kearney comes down the right hand side. Kearney to whip one in, blocked well there at the near side, and out for a Cliftonville throw in down the right hand flank here. That was nice work by Shea Kearney. Kind of made those runs in the League Cup final. Certainly didn't take on his man as probably many Cliftonville fans would have wanted him to. He is well capable of taking on his man and beating his man, certainly, as he takes the throw in. Flicked on in the box. Defended well by Ards. As Cliftonville try and keep it alive. Kearney now. As Keeney there caught a bit late by Eamon Scannell. And a free kick given quickly to Cliftonville, which they take pretty quickly. Addis on the halfway line. Now Conlon. Down the left-hand flank. Plays it in field. Although, has to come all the way back there. Does Gormley. Now Stewart. Has to come back to Johnny Addis. Cliftonville had the vast majority of possession in these early moments, as expected, being the Premiership side. But of course, as I said, that really goes out the window tonight. Semi-finals are a real balancing of the two sides and the competitiveness of the two sides, really. Cliftonville may have been the favourites coming into this one, but Ards, as I said, have already knocked out Premiership opponents twice this season. There's no reason why they couldn't do it again. Here's Addis. Swings one out to the left-hand channel. Chested down by Stewart. Sean Stewart laid it back to Conlon, who tried to play a through ball, but again, Ards rigid with their defence. Addis retrieves, and Conlon a bit pressured there, and Ards win the throw-in down the right-hand side. A confident start in possession from Cliftonville, but a pretty kind of compact and disciplined start from Ards' point of view out of possession, not really giving up too many spaces, not really allowing Cliftonville to get into the final third on an often basis in these early moments, albeit it's been merely almost complete Cliftonville possession in the first 4 or 5 minutes. Throw in there, well defended by Sean Stewart. Goes out for another throw into Cliftonville, or Ards, apologies, down the right hand side. Throw in taken quickly, brought down on that right hand side, beaten past Stewart, gets to the byline, plays it across, and the flick on does come off a Ards player last, which they disputed, but the officials quite adamant that it was a goal kick, and Lewis Ridd will gather the ball. Of course, a bit of controversy over goalkeeping things at Cliftonville's game at the weekend in the Premiership, their final Premiership game before the split, of course, like the Scottish League. The Irish Premiership splits, as did the Championship, because of 12 teams, and Cliftonville's last game was at home to Carrick Rangers, which they ended up winning pretty comfortably by 3-0, but a bit of controversy in that game with the goalkeeper from Carrick, which has seen him, of course, apologise after an altercation with the ball boy. And all is well and good now. Here's Rory Hale. Plays a ball over the top. A run here from Kearney. A bouncing ball. Has the defender under pressure. But that was commanding goalkeeping that time from Alex Moore, who came out quickly, allowed his defence to kind of just shield the ball. And ultimately, in the end, the Cliftonville wing-back couldn't really get much out of it, and Shea Kearney there. That's a ball down the left-hand side here into space for Ards. Although the offside flag has gone up against the number 16 there. That was Aidan Steele. Here's Conlon with the ball. Striding forward for Cliftonville into space. On the turn, plays it infield to Sean Stewart. Now back to Addis. Conlon under pressure. Although the interception doesn't really come to nothing. The through ball all the way through to Lewis Ridd, who can comfortably get his team back into possession and calmly in control of the ball again. That's kind of what Ards need to hope for and kind of have to latch upon in this game this evening. As you know, Cliftonville are going to have more of the ball, and have a lot more of the ball, I would expect, and I think that might be their game plan. And I think it's all about counter-attacking. What pace have you got on the counter-attack? What have you got in transition that can test Cliftonville and really catch them out? I remember I was at the game at Solitude at the weekend, Cliftonville against Carrick Rangers, and the one thing that I thought Carrick Rangers really didn't do enough of is get Cliftonville chasing back towards their own goal. They had a lot of possession, but Carrick never really caused them a problem, as Curran does well on the spin here. Curran at the edge of the box, lays it off to Rory Hale on the spin, right through from Kearney, and he's going to be miles offside there, Joe Gormley. No question about that one. No question indeed. It was a nice little move. Initially, nice ball by Conlon, lofted down the left-hand side. A bit of confusion in the Ards defence. Sean Stewart ends up getting it into the path of Ryan Curran. Curran plays it off to Hale, and Hale on the spin at the edge of the D. Kearney feeds it through, and Gormley miles offside. No question about that, but it was nice. One-touch intricate football from Cliftonville there all of a sudden. Certainly, a lot of the recent games, they have been dominating a lot of possession. One thing Jim Magilton has said is his side have lacked the efficiency to take clear-cut chances. That's a ball in behind. Gormley always a threat, but well dealt with and hoofed away by the Ards defence. That was well won back by Keeney. Now Gordon. And to link it up down that left side. Here is Hale. Lays it off to Shea Gordon. Right down the channel. Sean Stewart's made the run on the overlap. Stewart across, and that's a good bit of defending. Out for the Cliftonville corner. Really dominant play down that left-hand side. Really smart. Hale plays it infield. Gordon, you think he's just going to play it around the outside of the defender. He actually squeezes it through the inside channel between the centre-back and the wing-back. And it's a really nice, smart run on the overlap from Sean Stewart. Gets around his defender and squares the ball across the 6-yard box. And it was well defended by the Ards centre-back in there. And it ends up going for a Cliftonville corner. And the first of the game, which their captain, Rory Hale, will take. Takes it short this time. Lays it off to Stewart. Back to Hale, who chips it into the box. And the ball too far past any of his teammates in the middle there. And it goes behind for a goal kick. Straight off the training ground, that one. Nice link up between Hale and Curran. And then Hale's lifted ball into the box, just too high for anybody in red to get anywhere near. And right the way through for a goal kick and out the other end. Well, 10 minutes gone here in this Irish Cup semi-final. Still 0-0 between Cliftonville and Ards. The Premiership side having a lot more of the possession. So far 76% of the ball in these early moments. Ards, another offside there. This time again against Aidan Steele, who's making those runs in behind for Ards. But again, that Cliftonville back line, well marshalled and well drilled in playing that offside trap against Aidan Steele. Steele, of course, the joint top goal scorer for Ards, alongside Eamon Scannell, both 11 club goals this season, the two players. He's made a couple of runs so far, Aidan Steele. Both offsides, as Harry Wilson's given a tough time in the middle there by Eamon Scannell. And a foul there on Wilson. See it again, yeah, it's a tight little play between from Cliftonville, and Ryan Curran lays it off to Harry Wilson, who beats off the number 14, Ethan Simpson, and then ends up getting taken out by Eamon Scannell. And a free kick for the Reds, which comes to nothing as we come away from that replay. And Ards again trying that ball down the channel, but Cliftonville not tested whatsoever, as Johnny Addis just allows that to go back to his goalkeeper, and Lewis Ridd. Here's Keeney. Here's Rory Hale. Chips one over the top. The run's on. Gormley's made the run. He's in behind. It's Ryan Curran. Oh, good save. The flag stayed down. It continued to stay down. Ryan Curran was not deemed to be offside. We'll see it again. Rory Hale over the top. And it's Curran just makes the run off the back of the defenders. No real kind of conclusive evidence whether he was on or offside. The flag stayed down from the assistant, and a big save there from Alex Moore that needed to be made because the flag wasn't going to go up. And Ryan Curran deemed to be in an onside position when that ball was played by his captain. A big save by Alex Moore, and well needed, commanded his area and really just smothered the ball as Ryan Curran made his way into the box. That was a threat from Cliftonville. We talked about Aidan Steele's runs in behind. Ryan Curran starting to cause a threat in behind there. And that time he wasn't offside, according to the officials. Sean Stewart there tried to retrieve possession. Too much pace on that one, goes out for the Ards throw-in. That was a big chance for Cliftonville, that run from Ryan Curran. Big opportunity. And that's one thing Jim Magilton, the Cliftonville manager, has said about his side recently. In not the same amount of words, but something similar to this, is that they need to be a bit more efficient when they get it in and around the box and just be a little bit more clinical. And I think, you know, Cliftonville had a really tough summer spell in the fact that they lost such great goal scorers in the likes of Ben Wilson and Ronan Hale last summer that were such big goal scorers for the club. And losing those types of players that contributed to almost half of your goals last season, it's something big to replace, and they have struggled this season. They've relied upon the elder statesman, as that's a through ball for Shea Gordon. The keeper has come again, and Moore's given it away, and Kearney has an open goal, but he puts it over the bar. That was another big moment for Cliftonville. Johnny Addis through ball, laid it off to Gormley, who dropped a bit deeper. Lovely little combination play from Cliftonville. Harry Wilson plays it through the lines. Gordon made the run down the right side. And Alex Moore again, just as he did for the Ryan Curran chance, and a chance earlier on as well, comes rushing out. Outside the box even. Cleared away. Doesn't get it away. Gives it right back to Shea Kearney, who couldn't take his chance from about 20 yards and skied it over the bar. But that was another opportunity where Cliftonville are getting Ards turned and are getting them facing back towards their own goal and putting them under real pressure in these early moments. And it's important, I would suggest, I'm sure Jim Tilton, the Cliftonville manager, will be looking at it and thinking, these are chances we need to take early on. It's nice control by Wilson in the midfield. As Kearney gives it back to Keeney in the Cliftonville defence. He just settles it back to Lewis Ridd. As I was saying about Cliftonville losing that many goal scorers, they've relied upon the elder statesman Joe Gormley, who has stepped up this season, as he always seems to do for Cliftonville. The only Cliftonville player with double-figure goals this season, 16 to his name, the 35-year-old. The next highest goal scorer for Cliftonville is with 8 goals, which is Ryan Curran, who has 8 goals this season as well. So a big gap at the top of the goal scoring charts there for Cliftonville, but when you've got Joe Gormley in your team, you've always got a chance at scoring goals, and that's something Cliftonville have had to rely on, probably more than they would have wanted to this season. And it's Addis through ball over the top again. It's Hale this time that's in behind, and again Ards have to take decisive action and put it behind for the corner. Those balls over the top of the defence. Addis again, lovely little ball over the top. Hale made the run over the back of the defender, number 12 there for Ards, Oren McCart, and it ends up going behind for a corner, I believe. It does, for Cliftonville. I was a bit confused there. The ball was in the middle of the pitch. Rory Hale just picking it up to get the corner, but he made a really lovely run over the back of Oren McCart there, and it will be a Cliftonville corner. Starting to apply themselves a little bit more, the Reds, and starting to get a bit of joy from that as Hale takes this corner. Whips it in first time, headed away at the front post and then cleared to try and get Ards on the counter, but that should be covered and does be cleaned up by Harry Wilson, who gives it back to the last man there for Cliftonville, who can mop that one up quite comfortably. And not the best of deliveries that from Rory Hale. It was well defended at the front post, but no one really in red to try and attack it. Already Cliftonville are starting to apply a little bit more pressure, starting to create a few more chances and get the ball further up the field more often and on more occasions against the Ards defence. Here's Stewart down the left hand side, making a run on the overlap again. Sean Stewart, well defended there with that sliding challenge from the Ards man. Out for the Cliftonville throw on the far left hand side. Of course, Sean Stewart has been injury ridden this season in the Cliftonville team. He gets the ball in there, but that's easily caught by Alex Moore, who had a comfortable, calm collection of the ball in the end there. Alex Moore, the 26-year-old Ards goalkeeper. That's a long ball over the top and a cheap free kick given away there by Cliftonville. Given away to Lee Newell. See this again. Yeah, it's just a push by Jack Cady in the back of Newell. It's a pretty cheap foul to give away from Cliftonville's point of view. It will be Connor Maxwell who will take it for Ards. Haven't had a shot yet in the game, a registered shot against Lewis Rid so far. The championship side. 18.5 minutes gone, still 0-0. Let's see what Connor Maxwell can do here from this set piece. A decent area for them. Maxwell's delivery, left-footed, low, but maybe that was pre-planned. And the man who collected it there, the number 7, Eamon Scannell, battling the opposite number 7, Shay Kearney, who is pushed over by the Ards goal scorer, or the Ards leading goal scorer, Scannell, and Cliftonville got a free kick. Yeah, the free kick by Maxwell was played a little bit low to Eamon Scannell, maybe a bit pre-planned in the fact that it was right into his path, but then Shay Kearney had it covered on the defence and got the free kick to relieve his defenders. Now here's Curran getting Cliftonville forward, where they have been quite a lot of the game so far in Ards' half. Here's Keeney, looking for options, lays it off to Kearney. Right, Addis, Johnny Addis going for that ball over the top again, a little bit bobbly that time. It's well defended by McCart. And in the end, as Cliftonville tried to win the ball there with Harry Wilson, they've given away a free kick of their own. See that again. Yeah, just a push in the back of Aidan Steele there, who won a free kick for his team. There's no doubting the quality of this Ards side. As I said, they've already had some giant killings this season. They aren't strangers to it. They know how to grind out these hard games. As that free kick over the top. Both sides claiming it was their ball, and it's going the way of the Ards players. It's claimed that it will be an Ards throw-in down the left-hand side. Connor Maxwell to take. Throws it into the middle. Scannell holding on to it, trying to win a corner. In the end, gets it through. And a nice chop to on the right foot. And this shot, well blocked in there. I think it was a deflection. And it goes behind for the corner. That was a massive opportunity for Aidan Steele. We see it again. Maxwell's throw-in, brought down by Scannell. And as he tries to win the corner off Keeney, he cuts it back across. Aidan Steele picks it up right area, edge of the box on the left-hand side, and as he cuts onto his right foot, he takes the shot, blocked by Conlon, and put behind for the Ards corner. That was much well worked. And Maxwell takes the corner, fizzed into the box, headed away by Cliftonville. Hale holds it up, chests it down, trying to find a forward pass, has to go back to Luke Conlon, and Cliftonville settle again. But that was a worrying moment. And a moment of kind of real positivity for Ards in the fact that maybe a bit, I wouldn't say fluky, or maybe a bit fortunate that the ball ended up where it did, and it didn't come off a Cliftonville defender out for a corner, and it actually went through to their striker in Aidan Steele. But that was a nice combination play. Meant it or not, It almost led to an Ards goal, and that will give them reams of confidence after having to almost exclusively defend for the last 20 minutes. It's a ball forward. Steele well covered over by Keeney. Kearney under pressure, just thuds one forward. That's a run in behind for Joe Gormley, but again, Alex Moore commanding his area, and I think Gormley's actually given away a free kick here. We'll see this again. Kearney just wanted to get rid. He knew he was under pressure from Steele. The ball ends up going over the top, in behind for Joe Gormley to try and threaten. And in the end, I think Gormley was actually pushed into Alex Moore there, which is, I think, what the Cliftonville man is claiming to the referee. I think the Cliftonville captain as well, Rory Hale, was making that claim as well, that he was pushed and it shouldn't have been a foul, but free kick was given. And Alex Moore will take this at his pace, not in a hurry. Bit early for a bit of time wasting, but Moore takes the free kick. Brought down by Steele, but again Cliftonville intercepting it in the middle. Now Conlon, out wide to Stewart, a little bit slow in the pace of that ball across, and it kind of halted Cliftonville's forward momentum. Ridd's ball forward was a bit loose. Hale though commanding and control, although caught in possession himself there, the Cliftonville captain. And in the end, Jack Keeney had to rescue him and get the free kick. Addis lays it off to Conlon. Now Rory Hale through the lines, finding Curran, lays it off to Hale again, who makes the run forward. There's runners here for Cliftonville. Rory Hale wants to go himself and is get taken out as he tried to break to the edge of the box, and it's going to be a yellow card. Trying to see who give it away. It was lovely link up between Hale and Curran, and Hale breaks away. He's charging forward, and it's just a really poor challenge. But I think it might be Oren McCart who made that challenge. Really poor challenge by the Ards defender, and in the end gets a yellow card for his troubles. Yeah, Oren McCart there with the booking. And the first yellow card of the game so far, and a free kick in a dangerous area here for Cliftonville, about 23 yards out from goal, slightly to the left at the edge of the box. That's a very good position. Stewart and is that Keeney? Jack Keeney, I think, might be up for that one. It will be. It's the shot low and hard, but that's right at the feet of Alex Moore, who can claim it quite comfortably. Pretty anticlimactic free kick. Stewart left it. And yeah, it's really poor free kick. Bit of a pass, really, actually, towards the goalkeeper. No real threat there. And that free kick was in a threatening position, but ultimately comes to nothing in that fact. As we are 25 and a half minutes gone, still 0-0 between Cliftonville and Ards. And these sides haven't met in almost 4 years. It was the last time they met. It was in the Irish League Cup. That was the last 8 of that one. So that was the quarterfinals, I believe, in that one. And they won by 4-1 at Cliftonville on that occasion. The last time the two sides met, Johnny Addis, Ryan Curran, Joe Gormley, all in the side this evening for Cliftonville, all scored on that day for Cliftonville in that 4-1 victory. The only other scorer for Cliftonville that's no longer at the club is Chris Gallagher, who of course joined Larne from the Reds. And he also got in on the action on that day for Cliftonville in the League Cup. 4-1 victors. Throw in here for Ards. Oren McCart to take on this right hand side. It's a long throw in there down the right hand side. The ball over the top from Steele. It might be a threat here as Keeney comes across to try and defend it and does get the better of his man and clears his lines quite confidently there. Does Jack Keeney. Nice takedown by Gordon in the midfield there for Cliftonville. They just control possession again. The stats for possession, Cliftonville have still continued to dominate the ball. 72% possession. Since I last told you, it was 76, I believe, the last time I told you it was. So not really much has changed on that front, as referee's given a foul there against Ards again. It was Ryan Curran, foul that time. Addis will look to take this one. Getting it in the right position first. Addis did take it. Wilson across to Keeney. And all the way back to Lewis Ridd again. Well, Cliftonville do have a strong history against Ards, certainly in the 21st century. The last time Ards beat Cliftonville was actually back in 2006. They were at Solitude that day, and they won by a goal to nil, Ards, on that day. That was the last time that that Ards beat Cliftonville in any competitive fixture. 2006, 19 years. Here's Kearney, wants to try and find the nets, and the shots will deflect and will go for a Cliftonville corner. No, it's not. It's goal kick. See this again. It's Gormley. Squares it across. Kearney steps away from his man. Lovely little takeaway. Did it come off Ryan Curran there? Didn't look like it come off Curran. It looked like it come off the Ards defender, Ryan Arthur, but the officials didn't see it that way, and a goal kick was given. I think that was a mistake. I think that should have been a Cliftonville corner. And the Cliftonville players were certainly incessant that it should have been. Gordon, flick over the top. Stewart keeps it alive. On the spin is Curran. And now Hale, and through for Joe Gormley. Edge of the box, and Joe Gormley gives Cliftonville the lead. Who else but Joe the goal again? And Cliftonville take the lead in the Irish Cup semi-final. Just as he did here at Windsor Park to win them a trophy. He's given them the opening goal on a march to try and keep this trophy theirs. Joe Gormley, 16 goals in the league this season for Cliftonville. Probably his biggest came on this ground a few weeks ago when he confirmed the League Cup title for Cliftonville, and he's given them an opening goal lead here against the championship side Ards. They've been pushing for it, but so far they weren't able to find the nets. But when you give Joe Gormley a chance, 9 times out of 10 he's going to find the back of the nets. Cliftonville 1, Ards 0. That's a incredibly worked goal by Cliftonville. I think their passing, the sharpness of their passing has been really intricate tonight. And I really have to say, so far, albeit, let's not forget who they're playing against. No kind of doubts about that, and no disrespect to Ards, but Joe Gormley, you give him a chance against any team in the Irish League, in the Irish football pyramid, and he will always get a chance. He will always have a chance. And 9 times out of 10 he will find the back of the net. And that time he did. And he gives Cliftonville the lead this evening. Massive goal. And in a moment where they probably needed it, Cliftonville. Ards trying to respond there, but getting a bit of a mix-up as they try and enter the box. Goal kick there. It actually went out from Lee Newell that had the last touch on that one. 31 minutes gone. Cliftonville lead by a goal to nil now. Joe Gormley, the scorer. Quite incredible. But Joe Gormley is still producing at 35 years of age. Jim Magilton called him one of the best strikers in the Irish League. He would say that about his player, of course he would, but that was after the Irish League Cup victory and that incredible winning goal in the extra time to secure the trophy for Cliftonville. Joe Gormley, that's not the only time he showed up this season. That was, of course, actually his last goal for the club was in the League Cup final. Has gone 4 games without a goal since that one. And now another cup game, another cup goal for the eternal goal scorer of Cliftonville Football Club. Certainly a ruthless finisher, if there ever was one. Certainly Joe Gormley adds his name to that list. He actually, quite interestingly, and I've just seen this stat now, his actual last 3 goals for Cliftonville have come at this stadium, which is quite incredible, against 3 different teams. He obviously has scored tonight against Ards. He scored against Glentoran. Oh, Rory Hale's into the box here. Flag stayed down. Hale trying to find a shooting chance. Cuts it back to Gormley. No real shooting chance there, as Ards sealed up that little gap for the moment. But Cliftonville trying to add to their lead. Not soon after they'd opened the scoring. They're trying to find a second. Jim Magilton's side. As Addis there was closed out of position. Did win the throw-in out of it in the end. But as I was saying, Duke Gormley's last three last goals for Cliftonville have all come at Windsor Park. He scored here tonight. He scored in the League Cup final. And his last goal before that for Cliftonville was actually in a 2-1 defeat against Linfield here back on the 25th of January. And he scored, of course, in the 76th minute. To make it 1-0 to Cliftonville. They ended up losing the game 2-1, but his last 3 goals for Cliftonville have all come at Windsor Park against 3 different teams. Ball over the top there. Curran was trying to battle for it. In the end, it looked like the referee's going to give a foul against Curran for maybe being a bit too physical in trying to get the ball. And a free kick goes the way of Ards on the edge of their own box. You have to say, for Cliftonville, you know, it's a big moment taking the lead, albeit, yes, if this was a league game, it will be very differently poised and a very different proposal from Jim Magilton. But it being a semi-final, it being a big game where you can get yourself to another final, every moment matters, every single second matters in this one, because it only takes a second, as Sean Stewart there, down the right side, or the left side for Cliftonville, tried to breach the Ards defence, but it was well sealed up again. And Cliftonville back in possession around about the halfway line. But it's an important moment to get that goal at the moment where they were dominating the game, and maybe Ards had a little sliver of positivity when they had that close chance with Aidan Steele, and maybe they were trying to get themselves back into the game. Just getting that goal kills that momentum and just kind of settles the Cliftonville players into a rhythm of, we're leading, let's just calm ourselves into the game and kind of take that, get the goal, and kind of keep doing what we've been doing and try and find a second. And just sticking with that kind of composure, I think could be a massive factor for Cliftonville, of course, in this one. Of course, at the minute, but a big goal in a big moment. And I'm sure Ards won't be too deterred by the fact they've gone behind. I don't think John Bailey would have been thinking coming into this one, the Ards head coach. I don't think he would have been coming into this one thinking they weren't going to concede, because they know what Cliftonville are capable of. But I'm sure he was hoping that his side would give a little bit more. There's that through ball from Addis again, low and hard, right up the spine of the Ards defence, and Shea Gordon that made that run, but the ball just a bit too overhit from Johnny Addis. And a freak, the ball all the way through to Alex Moore, the Ards goalkeeper. Poor ball in possession, that from Ards. They've given up possession quite a bit, and kind of unforced errors. You know, I think that's what their manager John Bailey will be a bit disappointed with in this first half. I don't think he will really complain the fact that Cliftonville have had more possession. I think that might be the game plan, really, from Ards to allow Cliftonville to have more of the ball. But I think when they have had possession of it, Ards, bar that chance with Aidan Steele from the throw-in, they really haven't caused Cliftonville merely any sort of threat. It's certainly in play, certainly kind of in non-dead ball moments. You know, from set pieces, maybe they have looked a little bit more threatening, maybe. But when they've kind of won the ball back or kind of claimed the ball, re-won possession, they haven't done enough to sustain the possession. They've given it up cheaply and probably unforced errors. You know, not like they're under a press or under real duress from Cliftonville. They've just had the ball in space and they just played a random ball and it's gone nowhere, really. And I think John Bailey will be a little bit disappointed with the fact that his side have given up possession a bit cheaply at times so far. That was a attempt of a through ball from Joe Gormley. Not finding its target as Shea Kearney there was beaten off the ball, but no foul, said the referee. Fair challenge. See it again. Keeney laid it off to Kearney, but his back to him, and Aidan Steele there coming in hot and heavy. Just winning the ball. Curran. Stewart back to Ryan Curran. Very fluid front two from Cliftonville. Joe Gormley and Ryan Curran not looking to stay rigid. Can drop deeper, can spread themselves wide. Very versatile, those two at the up the top for Cliftonville so far. Gordon. Again over the top. Tried to find the run of Curran. That time well defended. But again, the clearance from Ards just comes right back to Cliftonville possession. And that back three so far of Conlon, Addis and Keeney just mopping up everything at the back as Conlon makes a stray run forward. He'll play the ball. Conlon now through down the left for Stewart. But Sean Stewart not able to get near the ball. It was, in the end, confident defending from Ards. Just seen it out for a goal kick. But Conlon made a nice run there. Maybe trying to switch things up a little bit, and it almost paid its dues, really, for the Cliftonville number 14. Luke Conlon, who hasn't scored this season. A number of the Cliftonville players that haven't scored this campaign for them that start tonight. There's two other centre-back partners have, and Jack Keeney and Johnny Addis have both scored. Keeney scored 1 goal, Johnny Addis scored 3 goals this season. Ards with a throw in there. Hale trying to battle for the ball back. He's not going to get the ball back, and he wanted a throw in there as well, but he's not going to get that either as Ards come away with the ball. Down the left hand side it comes. Maxwell looking for options. Back to Maxwell again. Their little link up play. Scannell down the left hand side, and the ball just bobbling its way away from Aidan Steele, who again just couldn't take the ball under kind of his control. Once again, a little glimmer of hope from Archer's point of view. The chance just really fizzles out and comes to nothing as we have 5 minutes of the first half to go, plus additional time. Cliftonville 1, Ards 0. Joe Gormley with a goal. It separates the sides as Curran steps away from his man. Laid it off to Gormley, who shoots. That was, well, quite deceiving. It looked like it was going nestling into the net, but it went quite a bit wide from Joe Gormley. Again, it all comes from that Johnny Addis ball right through the middle. Hale plays it forward. Curran makes the run off the defenders, gets a bit caught from one of the defenders. It might be Arthur that makes the challenge, and as it falls to Gormley, he tries to find that top corner on the right hand side, and it just goes well wide of the goal. But again, simple, kind of direct football from Cliftonville, just kind of route one in a sense. Centre back to centre midfielder to centre forward, really. It's right up the spine of Ards. They're not looking to toy about with them when they get it forward. Curran stepping upon that heavy touch from Ryan Arthur. Now Hale, lovely little layoff by Gormley, and now Gordon with a shooting chance, but hits it well wide from that position. Shea Gordon's another one who scored for Cliftonville this season, scored 2 goals this campaign as Shea Gordon in the Irish Premiership. But I'd say that one certainly won't be in his highlights reel for the season for Shea Gordon. Of course, Shea Gordon scored the opening goal against Carrick Rangers at the weekends. His only other goal this season came in the Irish League Cup for Shea Gordon, so one in each competition other than this one that he has played. As there was an Ards player in a bit of pain there. I think he got a check over by the physio and is just coming to the sidelines. It is Tipton, George Tipton. Again, Cliftonville continuing to try that ball over the top. And Ards just not looking comfortable at dealing with it at times. They're kind of getting away with it at the minute. But if Cliftonville can play that pinpoint pass over the top and really try and threaten Ards, they really will be in business, let's just say. Because Ards are slightly getting away with it at the minute. But if I was Jim Magilton or the tactical man on the bench for Cliftonville, I would say continue doing that, because it certainly looks like a threat at the moment. Ball down the right hand side. Curran coming across to hold it up. And goes down under a challenge from Conor Maxwell, which will get Cliftonville a free kick. Just looking to command the whole of the first half in these final few minutes. Still continuing with 74% of the possession in the first half so far. 6 shots. 3 of them on target for Cliftonville. 2 corners. Ards 26% of the ball. 1 shot, 1 on target, 1 corner, and 1 yellow card for the visitors. For the championship side, shall I say. Kearney. Hale. Brought down well. Across there by Harry Wilson. Now back to Jack Keeney. And space here for Cliftonville. Down the right side it comes to Shea Kearney. Looking to jink his way past his man. Chops it back to Keeney. Now Gordon. Kearney again. Moving the ball with a little bit more pace at the minute, Cliftonville. Playing those triangles. Rory Hale, Joe Gormley, apologies, steps away from trouble. Gordon. Wilson lays it off to Hale here on this left side. Lays it off to Curran. Gets it back, Hale. The shot charged down on the edge of the box where the Ards defender is. Hale tries to win it back and does cleanly and tries to do a little spin. Ends up getting, well, crowded out there and dispossessed as the ball comes back to the Ards keeper, Alex Moore. Yeah, I've got to say, so far, Rory Hale has done a lot. And you can see what the Cliftonville captain means to this team, what an impact he can have for this team, what he does have for this team. He's a commanding presence in the midfield. He's a physical battler. He gives us everything to get the ball and keep the ball. And he plays some incisive through passes as well. As here come Ards on the break. Well blocked that by Johnny Addis, who stepped up and didn't let the ball pass them, as we're into stoppage time now in the first half. I believe we will have 1 additional minute. We will. 1 additional minute at the end of the first half. 1 for every goal we've scored. And Cliftonville have got the only goal of the first half so far. Joe Gormley with the opener. Do stay with us. We will assess the first half. We'll look back at the quarterfinals as well. We'll have a look and see what the prospects could be for tomorrow's semi-final between Dungannon and Bangor. And we'll see what sets up for that kind of prospect at half time. So do stay with us for that. As the last few seconds of this first half. Ards will have a throw in, but I think this will end the half. They don't even get time to take it. The referee blows the half-time whistle. And the first 45, it's all going rosy for Cliftonville. At the moment, Joe Gormley, the eternal goal scorer. Who else would score the Cliftonville goals but Joe Gormley? And he has got the only goal of the first half that sees the holders of the Irish Cup leading against championship opposition in Ards. Half-time, it's Cliftonville 1, Ards 0. We will analyse the first half and look ahead to tomorrow's semi-final when we come back. Do stay with us. This is serious from Liverpool fans' point of view. Maybe it's a bit tongue-in-cheek, but it looks like and feels like, from what I'm gathering, the Liverpool fans are not joking around here. They're ready to forget and not forget Trent Alexander-Arnold as one of their best players over the last number of years and kind of disregard him in that way because of how disrespectfully they feel that he is treating their football club. And you would have to say, are they really wrong for doing that? No. You got to be honest, the way it's been dragged out is pretty appalling. From any PR point of view, it's pretty appalling, and the fact that it's got to this situation is quite drastic and quite dramatic and really quite ridiculous if you look at it. Welcome back to Irish Cup Live here on LFS this Friday evening with me, Caoimhan Ferris. It is 12 minutes until the second half between Cliftonville and Ards, where it is 1-0 to the holders, Cliftonville, at the break. Joe Gormley with another goal at Windsor Park, making it a big first half for Cliftonville, but maybe felt with the dominance they had, probably should have had more in that first half. We will analyse the first half in a moment as well as look ahead to tomorrow's semi-final, which sees Bangor take on Dungannon Swifts, another Premiership v Championship battle in the Irish Cup semi-finals tomorrow. If we can get you those stats, we will try our very best at the minute. I'm trying to get them on the screen for you at the moment. We will try that in a moment for you. But analysing that first half, as I said, Cliftonville will probably expect to have had more out of that first half with how much they created. Maybe another goal. I would probably argue with the chances they created, or maybe the opportunities they had to create chances in that first half. No doubt they dominated Ards in that first 45. And I think overall, I don't think Jim Magilton, the Cliftonville manager, would be too disappointed with how that first half went. But I think he will be kind of looking back and thinking, well, maybe we could have got something more in that first half. Maybe we could have offered a little bit more. Maybe we could have had a bit more quality in the final third. And I think that's where Cliftonville, I wouldn't say have let themselves down. That's very harsh. But I think that's where Cliftonville will look to improve in the second half, is just be a little bit more clinical, a little bit more efficient in that final third. And as I said towards the end of the first half, they will look to continue to play that ball over the top, keep Ards chasing back towards their own goal, because unlike a team that would sit back and soak up possession, Ards are actually stepping forward. So what they're doing is they're not dropping back with their defence. They're not sitting deep with a back five. What they're doing is they are committing forward. So they are pushing a little bit further to squeeze the spaces in the middle, to not allow Cliftonville free roam, but also to kind of stop those runs in behind and maybe play an offside trap in the same sense and kind of battle Cliftonville that way. At the moment, it is working to an extent, the fact that a couple of those balls haven't worked. But again, Ryan Curran's chance a bit earlier on, the first real chance of the game that Alex Moore had to save, and then the Joe Gormley shot that ended up into the back of the net are the two key moments you would have to point out where that kind of Ards backline has failed in its defending. And certainly in its high-up defending, shall we say. Let's have a look at the stats from that first half then. We've got them on the screen now for you. So this is the first half stats. There we are. So as you can see, Cliftonville leading by a goal to nil. The matchup is the wrong way around, but we'll go with it. So Cliftonville are the away side on this graphic. I don't know why that is the case, but they are. And Ards are the regarded home side. Now they're at home, of course. If we look at the stats from that first half then, Cliftonville, as you expect, have more of the possession, 75% of the ball to Ards' 25. 8 shots for Cliftonville to Ards' 1. 3 on target to Ards' 1. 2 corners to Ards' 1. And Ards with the only yellow card of that first half given out to Oren McCart. So that was the first half in a nutshell, really. If we continue on down, maybe a few more stats to bring you. Goalkeeper saves is an interesting one. If you look at the goalkeeper saves there at the very bottom, Ards keeper Alex Moores had to make 2 saves. The Cliftonville keeper Lewis Ridd has had to make just the 1 save, which is that a little save earlier on, but nothing of real note. The only other save that was the 2 saves from the Ards keeper Alex Moore had to make Ryan Curran's chance, the first chance of the game, and then the second one wasn't really a save. It's down as a save, but it's from Jack Keeney's free kick that was really easily gathered. It was no real threat to Alex Moore no matter what in that first half, and I don't think he would have been too concerned about that type of ball coming anywhere near him. So those are the first half stats as they stand from the first 45 minutes. And again, as you'd expect, Cliftonville dominating the ball, dominating the areas, and having a lot of the chances. But as I said, the most important the most important stat is the scoreline. And at the minute, Cliftonville leading by a 1-0. That wouldn't be enough for Jim Magilton. I mean, I've spoke to him a number of times. I know him following the Irish League, and he is a man of real great standards and high standards, and he knows that his team can offer a lot in games of football, and he knows his team, more often than not, are probably better than what they show in games of football, and maybe don't always claim their full potential. That'll be a little bit harsh, but that is, I would say, the way Jim Magilton would see it. But again, at the same time, in this first half, they commanded the ball, they did a lot. I think it's just the efficiency in the final third. When they get into that area, I think I would like to see a little bit more of maybe Ryan Curran a little bit more in the box. I think that earlier chance proved that he can get into those areas and he can threaten this Ards defence, and there's no doubting that. Of course, he scored 8 goals this season, so he is a striker that can offer a lot. But I think from Joe Gormley, Joe Gormley's been a little bit more incisive in the fact that he's balanced that job well. I think both forwards from Cliftonville have kind of mixed up between playing further forward and then dropping a little bit deeper and getting involved in build-up play. Both have been very heavily kind of swapping and doing that, and I think Joe Gormley's kind of balanced that a little bit better in the fact that he's got into the forward positions, played centre forward a little bit better at the minute, and he's dropped deeper, linking up the play well, and he's balanced those 2 jobs quite well. Whereas I think Ryan Curran may be a little bit mixed up in that first half. I wouldn't say it's any kind of slant on him or his first half performance. I think he's done a decent enough job. I think he will be wanting a little bit more from himself. If I would expect from Ryan Curran, I think in that first half, I think he will expect a little bit more of himself, especially in that chance that he had saved. But I think Cliftonville can look to be a little bit more threatening and maybe take their chances a little bit more. From an Ards point of view, I said it in that first half, John Bailey, their head coach, will be a little bit disappointed that his side actually haven't threatened enough and maybe have given the ball away too cheaply. You know, they have had 25% of the ball, and that's not something they weren't expecting. But if you're going to have 25% of the ball, and you know you're going to have that, and you've probably planned to have that amount of the possession, probably, and wanting to kind of stifle Cliftonville and allow them to have a lot more of the ball and maybe do your work out of possession, then when you get into possession, you need to be much sharper, much more efficient, really pinpoint in your passing and get the ball forward quickly. They haven't done that enough. They've not got into transitions enough. They haven't threatened Cliftonville enough. They haven't got them in one-on-one positions enough. They haven't got them chasing back towards their own goal enough. And all of those things really let them down in that first half, because if they can start to do that, if they can start to tick all those boxes, they will find themselves back into this game. Because I said it again, Carrick Rangers, albeit very different level, different teams, blah blah blah, but Carrick Rangers against Cliftonville, I watched it firsthand. They played a ball in behind. Cliftonville were so committed up the field. They had probably 2 defenders back, and Carrick sent the fast man running out the other end. Lovely little ball. Nice running behind. Danny Gibson it was, and he had a shot saved by Lewis Ridd. It was a good save. That was the only threat they actually caused in that game. But to that extent, that's where Ards can find a little gap. That's where Ards can find the joy, and they tried it with Aidan Steele to no real great avail in that first half, but that is where they can cause a threat. That is where they can cause Cliftonville problems. But at the minute, Cliftonville are comfortable with that back 3 at the minute, Addis, Conlon and Keeney, and they don't look rattled whatsoever. They look calm, composed, well under control, and they look like they're just going to clean everything up. They're just like, we'll take this all day. And I don't want to use this phrase too drastically and compare this too drastically, but sometimes I'd have to say Johnny Addis reminds me a lot of Virgil van Dijk in the fact that he just commands the area. He dominates his area. He's got that aura about him where he's kind of unwithered, unfrailed. He's kind of just standing there, commanding the area, and he's kind of like, bring it on, I've got this. Everything's at his pace rather than the opposite way about. And I think that's crucial for Cliftonville, the fact that they have a player like that, but also they've got centre-backs and they've got calmness and composure in their team, that they can allow that to offer themselves a little bit more. Anyway, I'm rambling on. 3 minutes to go until the second half. We'll quickly look to tomorrow's semi-final, of course, between Bangor and Dungannon Swifts. I incorrectly said it was at the Oval. It's actually at the other Belfast stadium, which is in that slightly area in North Belfast. It's actually at Seaview tomorrow. I was mistaken by my Belfast stadiums. It's at Seaview tomorrow's Irish Cup semi-final between Bangor and Dungannon Swifts. And that one, again, another Premiership side in Dungannon against a Championship side in Bangor. A Bangor side that are looking to become a Premiership side, look very likely to become a Premiership side next season, looking for promotion this season. Bangor, of course, Lee Feeney's side sit 8 points clear at the top of the Championship table, heading into the split, and they look like they're confidently heading towards promotion. Ards, the team we're watching tonight, they're in 5th. They're 10 points off second place Harlan and Wolf Welders, who at the moment would claim that kind of playoff position where the second bottom side in the Premiership faces off against the second place side in the Championship. They will battle it out for another Premiership place there. So Harlan and Wolf Welders hold that position at the moment, but at the moment Limavady and Anna United are the two teams also above Ards, along with Harlan and Wolf Welders, in battling for that type of position. So that's where we stand at the minute. Dungannon, they're in the top half of the Irish Premiership heading into the split, with 4 points behind Larne in second place. They've got European football to chase, something Dungannon Swifts fans certainly haven't felt in a number of years, and maybe they could do that. But an Irish Cup would certainly give that chance at Europe as well. Irish Cup winners get European football, and there's a chance, well, there will be, one of these four teams will be in Europe next season. Which one will it be? Will it be Cliftonville, Ards, Bangor or Dungannon? Of course, we'll get closer to finding out by this time tomorrow, when we'll know who the finalists will be. At the minute, we're halfway to finding out who the first finalists are. It's Cliftonville who lead at the break at the minute, but we'll see what happens in the second half when we come out in just a moment. Do stay with us. Welcome back to Irish Cup Live here on LFS this Friday evening. It's Cup action all weekend on LFS. We've FA Cup action tomorrow and Sunday night for you to come. Looking forward to those games over the weekend in the Emirates FA Cup, the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. Looking set up for a nice ending to the FA Cup campaign. We'll talk about those games towards the ends. But we're ready to get back on the way for the second half as the referee returns to the field of play, as do all 22 players. And we have seen a change at half-time. Cliftonville have made a change. Aaron Pettifer has come on, the midfielder, replacing Harry Wilson. So a straight swap there in midfield for Cliftonville as they get ready to get the second half underway. Taking our time. And there we are. We're back underway then. Cliftonville lead by a goal to nil heading into the second half. And they have, as I said, made that change. So Harry Wilson has made way, and he has been replaced by Aaron Pettifer, the number 6 for Cliftonville. A straight swap there in midfield. There's maybe something Jim Magilton has spotted. Maybe wants to make a little tweak between first and second half. And we'll see what that does for Cliftonville and their attacking approaches. Here's Kearney looking to get off to a quick start. Shea Kearney, shot blocked. And Ards want a counter if they can, but that's an awful first touch, which allows Jack Keeney again just to mop it up quite cleanly and comfortably as Addis forces forward. Sean Stewart makes the run on the overlap down the left as he tries to cross in. It goes behind for a goal kick. Yeah, again, I think that change from Jim Magilton, it's a straight swap in midfield. It's not like they're different kind of positions. They are similar positional players in Aaron Pettifer and Harry Wilson. I think they both played actually for Cliftonville in that Carrick Rangers game. I think they both started that game, if I'm not mistaken. No, I am mistaken. They didn't both start that game. Apologies. It was actually Pettifer came off the bench in that game against Carrick as well. And I think Jim Magilton, I think, just maybe looking for a little bit different in that midfield, maybe a little bit more pace on the ball, I would expect, as they carry the ball a little bit more further forward, like the way probably Rory Hale has in that first half, rather than more of a sitting player. I think he maybe wants to push his midfielders a little bit further forward. I think Aaron Pettifer certainly helps him in doing so at the minute. As here's Conlon. Back to Gordon, who forces one through to try and find his captain. And that ball blocked out by the Ards player there. Ethan Simpson, I think that was, and it goes out for a Cliftonville throw. If you haven't gathered, I'm still trying to learn the Ards players. No disrespect to the club, but I have to say I'm not too well drilled and well researched on their players this season. And of course, Cliftonville I've watched quite a number of times this campaign. And certainly a side where they've been through thick and thin this season with their fans. Of course, League Cup victory, but again, a bottom half finish in the Irish Premiership for the first time in a number of years. That's a lovely little ball. Here's Sean Stewart on the overlap again. The cross! Well defended. Bit unorthodox, but it's cleared away eventually. I think it might be McCart that made that clearance, but the ball by Stewart was certainly threatening. There was a man in the middle there for Cliftonville, but McCart, I think it was, for Ards that blocked it away, and that will give Cliftonville even more confidence as Hale strides away with the ball. Hale trying to find Curran. Well blocked again. But again, the clearance from Ards right back to Jack Keeney, who can recycle Cliftonville possession. Down the right side it comes. Kearney. Infield to Hale. Nice little step over, but stepped over right into trouble. And give the ball away as they try and conjure something up. But again, Keeney mopping up the issues. Although that's a poor ball by Cliftonville, a bit unforced. Here's Steele. Aidan Steele looking for options. Trying to feed it down the right hand side here. Here's Newell. Battling there. Lee Newell up against Conlon. Laid it off well. And Steele breaking into the box. Aidan Steele. Well charged down by his opposite number in Gordon. Kept it alive here, Aidan Steele. Gets it across. Over the head of Scannell and back across the goal. Oh, and Conlon there will clear it away for Cliftonville. But my goodness me. Ards have come out with a bit between their teeth at the minute. Cliftonville a bit frail. Bit under pressure as they win a throw in there to relieve that pressure. But that was fabulous little play from Aidan Steele. Again, beating his way past Addis, gets to the byline, blocked off by Gordon. Conlon then gets beaten by Steele as Steele steps back across to the byline and chips it across the 6-yard box, over the head of Scannell, back across the 6-yard box. And in the end, Ards really couldn't tap it into the net, but Cliftonville are maybe a bit fortunate that they couldn't. Otherwise, that could have been an equalising goal. As there's a player down here for Ards. There was a player with an issue in the first half. Didn't look like there was any changes. Indeed, there wasn't in the first half, but might be an issue here that needs sorting out. As we get shots of those travelling Cliftonville supporters who are here in their numbers as always, supporting their team. I really don't know who the Ards player is that's receiving treatment at the moment. But we do have a stoppage in play for that. Well, Ards on a good run of form. Won their last 4 league games. Anna, Welders Institute and Ballyclare in the last 4 games. They actually have lost just 1 of their games in 2025. Their only defeat in 2025 was a 2-0 defeat away at Newry City. Every other game they have at least got a point out of or won to progress to the next stage of a cup, or of course winning in the league. For Cliftonville, it's been a bit more up and down. They went 3 games without a home win, 3 games without a win, after winning the League Cup, and then picked up victory against Carrick Rangers at the weekends. As Ards are going to make a change here. At the minute, it's 22, George Tipton, and he's going to be replaced by number 29, Darius Ruhi. Darius Ruhi, who the number 26-year-old, number 29, who's 26, has scored 3 goals for Ards this season, and wants to try and come onto the field to maybe add a 4th to that list. So Ruhi is on. Cliftonville a little bit wobbly there in the midfield, but Gordon comes away with the ball. Now Kearney, and space here for Rory Hale. He's got 4 ahead of him. Hale dribbling away, and Hale's shot maybe a bit tame in the end. Comfortable for Alex Moore to gather, but Rory Hale really looking a threat. I said he could make those mazy runs forward. Again, this time absolutely jinxes his man and Ethan Simpson, and has the shooting opportunity, the Cliftonville captain. The shot in the end a little bit tame, lacking that venom to really cause Alex Moore any sort of threat. So here is Ruhi. First involvement, first meaningful involvement anyway, and he wins a corner off Luke Conlon there for Ards. That's a positive first involvement for Darius Ruhi. The second corner of the game for Ards. 53 minutes gone. Cliftonville 1, Ards 0. Ards have come out in the second half and maybe had a little bit more of an opportunity. Certainly more of the ball against Cliftonville as the corner delivered in, left-footed. Lifted into the box, headed away round the back post, still alive. Pettifer can't clear it. In the end, it is cleared by Keeney, I believe, or Addis, one of the two, as Pettifer now breaks it away. And Hale on the run. Well challenged, very good challenge by Max Greer there, who was back for Ards, but it looked like Cliftonville were on the charge, on the counter-attack, and Max Greer with a really strong challenge. Again, it's from the Ards corner. Cliftonville not really convincingly clearing their lines. It is Johnny Addis that does get it away in the end, and then Gordon plays it to Pettifer. Pettifer lays it off to Rory Hale, who just couldn't get to the balls, and a yard away from getting the ball, and it was a good challenge by Max Greer to deny the Cliftonville captain that opportunity, because if he did get the ball, he was in clean air there, Rory Hale. Here's Kearney. Gordon. Pettifer. Back across to Conlon. Now down the left-hand side comes Stewart. Stewart with a cross, but not really threatening enough. Didn't have the whip on it. Simple enough catch for Alex Moore. Again, Ards have come out with a little bit more, I would say a little bit more of the ball in the second half, but nothing more threatening-wise in front of the Cliftonville goal. But they've showed a little bit more promise, so maybe something to try and grow from, try and build upon in this game. Here's Gormley, dropping a little deeper, lays it wide to Hale. Back infield it comes to Gordon. Shea Gordon lays it off to Aaron Pettifer now. Here is Pettifer. Back across to Gordon. Him two linking up again as the ball comes wide to Conlon. And run through for Hale, but Conlon's ball not the right one. That's well intercepted. Well won back by Johnny Addis. And Conlon getting caught in possession again. And ends up giving away the free kick there to Lee Newell, who caused him a number of issues. But Luke Conlon a bit caught out once or twice there. Initially it was a tap ball by Aidan Steele. He just got a nick on the ball from the heavy touch from Luke Conlon, and that sent the ball into Lee Newell's path. And at that point Conlon had no chance, and he was giving away the free kick no matter what happened there. The Cliftonville centre-back. They're looking a bit more physical, Havards. They just tidied themselves up a little bit coming out in this second half, and what a difference that can do. Certainly to their confidence. Free kick here on the halfway line. Long ball into the box. Flicked on, but the header was well off target. No real threat to Lewis Ridd, although the player has gone straight down, holding his head after he headed that ball, so that's not a good sign. And the referee calling over the physios at the moment. This is not a good sign. Trying to see who that is. The ball over the top. That's it. Just a header. Yeah, he's just getting checks there. The Ards man. Well, we have this stoppage in play. I can tell you a little bit about the two clubs. Or am I going to get that opportunity? No, I'm not. Because the player's right back to his feet. And maybe he didn't want me to talk about the history of these two clubs. I might get a chance before the end of the game. But for the minute, let's just settle that. Let's pause it for a moment. As we're back underway. Lewis Ridd with the ball. I'm still trying to figure out who that player is. I still haven't seen the number on his shirt, which would help me to know who that player is. It was the Ards captain. I'm just figuring that out. It's Michael Ruddy who was down. He's onto the field and back fine after that little spell that he has to take. As Luke Conlon on a mazy run here. Conlon lays it off to Hale on the spin, not given the chance. Not given the opportunity as the referee got right in the way of the Ards clearance there. And that will be a drop ball to the championship side. But Luke Conlon went on a nice run there, and it was Joe Gormley that on the spin tried to create something at the edge of the box, but couldn't squeeze his way through. In the end, Ards end up with a drop ball. Pettifer under putting Maxwell under pressure there, and comes out with a throw, and that's strong from the Cliftonville substitute. Kearney lays it off to Hale, back to Shea Kearney. Well, one thing about Cliftonville, and it has to be said, they've many a bright spark in their team, many a youthful talent in their squad this season. They've got a lot of young players that really, this is their first real test and taste of Irish League football this season. That's a lovely ball in behind, and here is Ryan Curran. Oh, well charged down. He gets another chance. The keeper spilled it. And here for Shea Kearney. Gormley hits it wide. Oh, my goodness me. If you had to bet on anybody slotting it in from that position, it would have been Joe Gormley. Again, it's Johnny Addis. Nice ball. Hale with a beautiful reverse pass in behind. Ryan Curran makes the run perfectly. Again, his shot saved by Moore, who spills it. Kearney bricks it away. And as he lays it off to Joe Gormley, doesn't quite catch it right as it bobbles in the air, and he bobbles it wide of the post. That was a massive chance, a massive let-off for the Ards goalkeeper Alex Moore, but for Joe Gormley, that's another chance not taken, albeit he's already taken one. But to keep giving him those chances, you certainly will end up paying the price, but at that time, not quite the case. But Cliftonville certainly coming close there. Again, it was Ryan Curran that made the run. Lovely, absolutely sensational ball by Rory Hale, I have to say. Quite incredible. some of the passes he's played, some of the balls he's played tonight. As Ards have a free kick here. In the Cliftonville half. Long ball into the box again. First flick on, and the ball bobbling and bouncing in the box, but caught by the Cliftonville keeper, Lewis Ridd. As I was saying about young players in the Cliftonville squad, if we talk about players under 23 years of age in the Cliftonville squad, a lot of them involved tonight, a lot of them starting tonight. Sean Stewart, 1 at 22. Aaron Pettifer on the field, 21. Shay Kearney, 21. If I had to go further down, other players that aren't involved tonight. Lewis Ridd, the goalkeeper, 20 years of age. Harry Wilson, who was on in the first half, he was substituted at half-time, he's 20. Stephen McGuinness, who's on the bench, is 21. And then Corin Madden, who's 16 years old, is on the bench tonight, as Pettifer's header from long range is well over the bar. No real threat there to Alex Moore, but nice cross by Kearney. Again, we've seen him break past Maxwell. Nice little run. Lovely whipped cross. And Pettifer got on the end of it. Just couldn't direct it down towards goal. Again, good work from Cliftonville. And that's the kind of mix that Jim Magilton's trying to balance with his squad. A mix of really youthful players, but also a lot of experience. You know, we talk about Rory Hale, who himself, the captain, is only 28, I believe, at Rory Hale. Ryan Curran, 31. 35 is Joe Gormley, of course, so they've got that experience in the team as well. Johnny Addis, who's 32, in the back line. Luke Conlon, who's 30. So they have a mix, that fine balance of a lot of really strong kind of experienced players and then a lot of youth. And if they get that balance right, Cliftonville, they can be a real massive threat. But this season, maybe the youthful quality and the lack of finishing ability from a number of players has maybe just saw them step and creep out and maybe just lose those narrow games, those close games, and maybe just not see it through. Which any team would struggle if you lose goal scorers like Cliftonville did. You know, Ronan Hale, of course, Rory Hale's brother, made the move to Ross County, which certainly in the Scottish Premiership, he's got the talkings for his incredible season. Of course, scored the third goal that won Cliftonville the Irish Cup here. Scored the second and the third goals that won Cliftonville the Irish Cup here at Windsor Park last May. And then, of course, Ben Wilson, who was another goal scorer who was a big threat for Cliftonville as well. Those two massive players in that position. Here's Kearney down the left side this time for Cliftonville as they try and find that second. Kearney's delivery, a bit too high. Brought down in the box. Pettifer with a press, but Maxwell's calm enough to clear it away from danger. As Addis got a bit caught out in his battle there with Scannell. And now here's Ruhi, looking for options. The ball came across the box. Scannell couldn't get on the end of it as Pettifer clears it away for Cliftonville. A bit end-to-end at the moment between the two sides. That's a nice link up between Curran and Gormley as Gormley charges down the right side. Lays it off back to Ryan Curran. Curran with space. Not given the chance to shoot. Still trying to scrapple for something. Lays it off to Sean Stewart. Now he will shoot. But send it over the bar. It goes. And there was no deflection according to the officials. So just a goal kick. Smart play from Gormley. Lovely link up between Curran and Gormley. Gormley cuts it back. Curran gets a bit muddled. He takes the shot. Maybe scuffs it. Keeps it alive at the edge of the box. And then just squares it across to Sean Stewart, who takes it with his left. But it just goes over the bar. He felt there was a touch. A Ards player that got a touch to that. But the officials say no. Just a goal kick. And I think they were right there on that occasion, the officials. So it's not a corner on that occasion. Bit more end-to-end though, as here comes Ards again. Scannell has to turn backwards with the ball. Right down the right hand side comes Greer. Ball through again. Addis there to break it apart and clear it long for Cliftonville. Gormley, nice deft header. Hale takes it on the spin. Rory Hale chased back by Eamon Scannell. Hale looking for options. And does now lay it off to Shay Gordon, who finds Shay Kearney. Shay Kearney's cross and Pettifer missed the target again. Another massive chance for Cliftonville. Another great opportunity not taken. Rory Hale, incredible hold-up play. And the two Shays, Gordon and Kearney. Kearney gets the cross in. And Pettifer, all he has to do is play it back across goal from the far post. He tries to go right ahead of him in the near post, and it was always going to go wide from that position. It was always a far post finish from that sort of range. And Aaron Pettifer made the wrong decision in that area. That was a big chance for Cliftonville. They've had a number of big chances in this second half. None taken so far. They've actually almost had the same amount of shots they did in the first half in the second half alone. 20 minutes compared to 45 minutes, and they've had 7 shots in the second half, 8 in the whole of the first. So they are being more lucrative in the final third, but again, lacking that clinical edge. As Pettifer's ball, wasteful giveaway there as he tried to find the ball out wide. Easily intercepted in the midfield, and now the through ball again. The Ards through ball just to no one, and easily gathered by, easily cleaned up by Johnny Addis. Heel there, brought down in the midfield, just across the halfway line. Gets a free kick for Cliftonville. Maybe I could take those the starting 11s graphic down, because they're not the starting 11s anymore. Oh, well, they are the starting 11s, but they're not the 11 on the field. This is the stats on the screen now, so you can get an update. Look at the difference: 15 shots to Cliftonville, for Cliftonville to Ards' 1 shot so far. And they're going to make a change here. The championship side looks like Ross Hunter is going to be coming on, the number 18, 22-year-old. So Hunter is coming on. And it's going to be Oren McCart that's going to make way. It's the only player that's been booked in the game is going to make way. And Ross Hunter, the 22-year-old, is coming on in his place. Hunter, who scored 3 goals this season. Hale, under pressure, does well. Kearney, back to Keeney. His ball was a bit to no one, really. The Ards try and come forward, but again, their wasteful pass. Sean Stewart there to intercept. Again, a bit end-to-end as that's well won by Greer. Max Greer now. Again, cutting back was Rory Hale, breaking apart that Ards attack, and now Gormley lays it off to Gordon now. He's got runners ahead of him. He's got Curran wide, kicks that option. Ryan Curran down the left-hand side here. Cliftonville into the box. Curran trying to find a ball. Gormley on the spin, the shot, oh, just wide again. Another opportunity not taken by Cliftonville. Again, fabulous move. Gordon down the left side, Ryan Curran really not given much kind of in his wake. As he tiptoes into the box, he just squares it across the edge of the 6-yard box to Gormley, who's facing away from goal. Gets it on the turn, and as he spins around the strike, straight, low, hard, but wide of the post. Just wide, not very far wide. It hit the outside netting. And a goal kick for Ards. But they're getting closer, Cliftonville. They're knocking on the door. And I think a second goal would be a welcome for them, as they're going to make a change here. Alex Parsons is going to be coming on. He scored against Carrick. Scored the 3rd goal against Carrick Rangers from the rebound from a missed penalty to make it 3-0 for Cliftonville at the weekend. So he's on to the field, is Alex Parsons. I'm not too sure who he's come on for at the minute, but I'll tell you that in a second when I get that information fed to me. That's a nice touch by Stewart. Oh, Hale caught in possession. That's been rare. And jumping in was Keeney. Commanding was Johnny Addis. And now he has a chance to play the through ball, and absolutely taken out there. It looked like it was Shea Gordon that was taken out. It was. And it's going to be a free kick to Cliftonville, and a yellow card as well handed out. So one Ards player went off because he was yellow carded. And they've just got one back. Another yellow card for one of their players. Still trying to figure out who actually came on for Cliftonville. I think it might be Mihal Glynn was it? Well, double change actually they made. We'll tell you that in a moment. Because here come Cliftonville again. Kearney couldn't find Parsons. Cleared away. I will tell you the double change in a moment for Cliftonville as they still have the ball here. Shea Gordon giving that away as Ards try and come forward. Oh, they found a bit of space now. This could be a chance. Ards on the break here. 20 minutes to go. This might be a massive opportunity. Into the box it comes. The shot well charged down by Conlon. Kept alive though. Here's Greer. Steele couldn't squeeze it through. Well intercepted. So the changes for Cliftonville, I can tell you, Micheál Glynn and Alex Parsons came onto the field, and they are both replaced Sean Stewart and Ryan Curran. So straight swaps again. Alex Parsons a straight swap for Ryan Curran up front, and Micheál Glynn left wing back replacing the other left wing back, Sean Stewart's. As that will be a corner to Ards, as Lewis Ridd was forced into a save there. As I was saying, the Cliftonville substitutes. So a corner to Ards here in this area of the fields. And a moment where they could claw themselves back into this game. It's a nice ball out wide. Conlon intercepting. Again, not doing much with it. Steele does well to get it wide again. This time, it looked like, I'm not too sure who it came to, but the cross was delivered in and forced Ridd into a save as the corner comes in, not cleared away. And in the end, Cliftonville get it away from danger. With Rory Hale getting the clearance there. Yeah, Lewis Ridd made a tipped save over the bar to deny that cross-turn shot for Ards. That could have caused problems as now Ridd goes long. Oh, beautiful takedown by Gormley. And now here's Hale. And this is a chance for Cliftonville. Rory Hale breaking into the box. Cross comes in, back post. The header is into the back of the nets. That's what they've been wishing for. And it's the substitute, Alex Parsons, that gets it. The man who replaced Ryan Curran mere minutes ago to add a goal to this Cliftonville lead. And he has done just that. A couple of minutes into his appearance. And Alex Parsons finds the net to double Cliftonville's lead. That's what Jim Magilton's been wanting. And that is what Jim Magilton gets. Cliftonville 2, Ards 0. It looks like the holders will be heading to another cup final. Again, they've been making this space down the left-hand side all night. And this time, Rory Hale's delivery, better than, well, it's better than everybody's on the field, you would argue. And it's a wonderful cross. Alex Parsons, right area. Lovely header across goal. And makes it 2-0. And surely the tie is done and dusted, barring any late drama. And Cliftonville look like they're heading to another Irish Cup final. Just as they did last season, which ended in victory. They want to head to another and have it end in the exact same way. And they double their lead in a crucial moment of the game when Ards again, it seemed like both Cliftonville goals have come in crucial moments when Ards were maybe having a little spell of their own where they looked a little bit of a threat, and I think Cliftonville have just put that to bed when they really needed to. And now Ards have a bit of a mountain to climb in the final 16 minutes or so of this game. That ball easily blocked by Micheál Glynn, and now on the counter it comes. Parsons. Lovely little ball finding Pettifer on the charge. Aaron Pettifer with the ball forward now. Finds Gormley. Gormley charging into the box. Cliftonville want to add another. Gormley! Oh, he tried to chip the goalkeeper, and the chip went over the keeper, but it went wide of the right of the left post. He's trying to get cute with it now, Joe Gormley. And that time, that one didn't find the net either. I would argue that might be his 4th or 5th shot of the night, and they were probably all goal-scoring chances. He probably could have had a hat-trick tonight, Joe Gormley. And this time, narrow angle, try to chip the goalkeeper. It goes over the goalkeeper, but it doesn't find the back of the net. That would have been some goal if it was on target, but it wasn't on target, and it's a goal kick. But Joe Gormley certainly been sharp, looked up for it tonight, but in the end, might just be the one goal that he'll come away with, and he probably could have had 3 or 4 with the chances he's created tonight, and certainly had in front of goal. Certainly the last one was his most audacious attempt of the evening. I can tell you that was the second goal for Cliftonville was Alex Parsons' third goal of the season. He had scored 2 league goals, of course, in his debut campaign with Cliftonville. He played 9 games previously, only joined in the January window from Brisbane Roar from Australia, where he resides, of course, where he is from, the 25-year-old. Scored 2 goals for Cliftonville before tonight. 2 league goals for Cliftonville before tonight. Both against Carrick Rangers at home, by the way, and 3-0 victories. Deja vu there. But his only other goal for Cliftonville came in the quarter-final of the Irish Cup, in which he scored the winner in that one. It was 2-0 at that point when he scored, and it finished 2-1 to Cliftonville against Crusaders in the latter stages of that game, as Ards have a chance to maybe try and make it 2-1 here. Oh, the shot's well over the bar. Absolutely skied it. Cliftonville are maybe a bit nervous there, maybe a bit lax in their own box, and Eamon Scannell had the chance to try and get Ards back into this game. Again, not dealing with the ball. Cross from Aidan Steele right across to the back post, not keenly dealt with by Micheál Glynn, and as it comes back across, Scannell takes control, chops onto his left foot and tries to shoot, gets the shot off, but absolutely skies it over the bar, and nothing comes of it but a goal kick. As I was saying, Alex Parsons scored the second goal for Cliftonville against Crusaders in the quarter-final. He's done the exact same here in the semi-final, and it might end up in the same result, with Cliftonville heading through to another Irish Cup final. So there's 3 goals so far, 2 in the Irish Cup and 2 in the Irish Premiership for Cliftonville, for the 25-year-old centre-forward. 10 appearances and 4 goals. That's not bad going for Alex Parsons. Free kick here for Ards. I did say if I could get the chance I would tell you a bit about the history of these 2 clubs, because of course this is our first Irish League coverage this evening. Of course, Cliftonville proudly know themselves as the oldest club in Ireland, founded in 1879. Of course, the Reds, the late John McAleary was the founder, of course, and brought, as Cliftonville like to say it, brought association football to Ireland, and of course then the Irish Premiership and Irish League followed then. Of course, for Ards, well, they were founded back in 1900, so they're a good history themselves, 125 years old at the minute. As here comes Parsons again. Cliftonville want to finish this now. Pettifer steps across, not given the chance to shoot, gets another one. Oh, hits the inside of the post and out. Parsons keeps it alive. Still alive here as he goes down. Not going to get a penalty for that, and Parsons puts it out for a goal kick. My goodness, the many chances that Cliftonville have failed to take in this evening, and this one probably the worst of them all. Aaron Pettifer with an absolute sitter of a chance. It's penalty spot-esque off the inside of the right post and bounces out. That's so unfortunate, so unlucky. But what are your chances for that? They've had so many opportunities, Cliftonville. This could be a real high number of goals tonight if they had been clinical with their finishing. They really could have absolutely trounced Ards tonight, but keeping it tight with a few of those sloppy finishes, and there's no doubting the fact there's quality there, there's chances being created. But again, similar kind of skeletons in the closet for Cliftonville, really, and the fact that they're just that lack of clinical edge at the minute in their team, and that's what's let them down in the league this season. Well, tonight it doesn't look like it's going to let them down overall. They've already taken 2 big chances. As I was saying, Cliftonville have won 9 Irish Cup titles in their history, so they're certainly well known to this. But of course, went 45 years without one before winning it last year. Their last win before last year was in 1979. Was their last Irish Cup victory before they, of course, beat Linfield here in the 2024 final, which they are current holders of the competition so far. In this competition, actually, the Irish Cup has stayed in North Belfast for the last 3 years. Crusaders were back-to-back Irish Cup winners in the previous 2 seasons, before, of course, Cliftonville got their 9th last season. So the Irish Cup hasn't left Belfast since 2018, when Coleraine were crowned champions against Cliftonville in the Irish Cup final here in 2018. Crusaders, Glentoran, Linfield, Crusaders, Cliftonville is the order of the last 6 winners. All Belfast clubs, those teams all winning in the final in the last number of years. But no doubting who's the best in terms of the most. 44 Irish Cup victories for Linfield over the years. Glentoran with 23. Distillery, who no longer exist, they have 12. And Cliftonville 4th with 9 Irish Cup victories. They've been runners-up 12 times, Cliftonville, in the Irish Cup. More times than they've won it. And Ards, if you were wondering, they last won the Irish Cup back in 1974. When they beat Ballymena United 2-1 at Windsor Park. 7,000 were in that stadium that day. 2-1 victors on the 27th of April 1974. 2-1 winners. Their 4th Irish Cup title back then. And their last Irish Cup final for Ards was actually, listen to this, it went to 2 replays. The first game ended 1-1 after extra time at Windsor Park on the 1st of May. Then against Bangor again, finished 1-1 after extra time on the 8th of May, a week later. Then 3 days after that, Bangor won it by a goal to nil. Here in a second replay, again, the days of no penalty shootouts, but that was the last time Ards were in an Irish Cup final back in 1993, and it went to 2 replays, which is the only time in the competition's history that has happened. So they certainly have certainly in the recent years that has happened. It's happened a number of times previously in terms of replays, a number of second replays over the years, but they are the latest and last team to have done that, so they'll be remembered for that, maybe. Who knows? But that was their last Irish Cup final, 1993. The last win, 1974. Cliftonville, of course, the holders. And 9-time winners. The last time Cliftonville went back-to-back in the Irish Cup, actually, was in 1901. You might think, that's a long time ago. It was a long time ago, 124 years ago, and that was when they won their 5th Irish Cup in 1901. They went back-to-back, beating Bohemians and Freebooters at Grosvenor Park in Belfast, or Grosvenor Park, whatever you want to say, back in 1900 and 1901, winning their 4th and 5th titles. That was the last time Cliftonville went back-to-back in the Irish Cup, which they can do if they win the Irish Cup final in a few weeks' time, because it looks like they're going there, and it looks like they're going to make changes at the minute. Ryan Corrigan, it looks to be coming on, the 17-year-old, and he's going to replace Rory Hale. So Hale off, Corrigan on for Cliftonville, and Ards are going to make a number of subs as well at the same time. I can tell you that Eamon Scannell, has left the field, and he's been replaced by Kyle Calderwood. And the second substitution sees Connor Scannell into the fray, and he has been replaced. He replaces Lee Newell. So Newell and Eamon Scannell off for Ards. Calderwood and Connor Scannell on, and for Cliftonville, Ryan Corrigan replacing Rory Hale. Oh, the goalkeeper! Oh, almost caught out there by Joe Gormley, who is the captain now. Ards looking to see this one out. Cliftonville 2-0. They look like they're going to an Irish Cup final again, Cliftonville. Here's the goalkeeper. Oh, he's giving it away! Here's Joe Gormley in the box. He's just going to square it, and it's going to be an absolute tap-in for Ryan Corrigan. And Cliftonville have got this one wrapped up with his first touch of this game only on the field. Corrigan makes it 3, and that is that. An absolute howler from Alex Moore, who's made a good performance tonight, but you're not going to get away with that one. He played it straight to Joe Gormley, intercepted, brought it down well, Gormley in the box, and he just squared it across. Ryan Corrigan with the simplest goal he will ever score, the 17-year-old. And Ryan Corrigan makes it 3-0 to Cliftonville and wraps this game up, if it wasn't already wrapped and sealed already. Cliftonville 3, Ards 0, and Ryan Corrigan, the 17-year-old, makes it 3. Incredible. That's it. That's it done. Well, I mean, at 2-0 it was probably done and dusted. But that was real. That will be in the highlights reel. That will be the howler that will be remembered for a long while. That from Alex Moore. Gormley could have been selfish, could have went for the finish himself, but he wanted to make absolutely sure that it was going to be 3-0. And he allowed the 17-year-old Ryan Corrigan the chance. With the tap-in, Corrigan has already scored a goal this season for Cliftonville in the league. So far this season, and has an Irish Cup goal as well this season. Oh, what a ball! Oh, Parsons just away from it, couldn't reach it. Ryan Corrigan's other goal came as a winning goal against Linfield here back in October of 2024 when Cliftonville beat Linfield by 2-1 on that day. That was the only goal he scored for them in the league this season. And of course has that Irish Cup goal as well tonight. Has a goal in the Irish League Cup as well. So Corrigan spreading his worth. Looks like 3-0 now. Cliftonville are going to make that final substitution. And it is going to be another young player. So Ryan Corrigan scores at 17. Well, a man who's not scored yet, and barely a man, shall we say, 16-year-old Corin Madden, who's the youngest ever player to assist a goal for Cliftonville in the club's history. He assisted, I think it was Rory Hale's 4th goal against Loughgall back in November, and he scored, that was the 4th. He was 15 then, Corin Madden, and he has just come on to the field at 16 years of age in an Irish Cup semi-final. Talk about youth talent for Cliftonville. They've brought on a 17-year-old who scored and wrapped up the game, and they've now brought on a 16-year-old to try and get him a few minutes in an Irish Cup semi-final. That's the joys of being 3-0 up, and that's the joys of having depth in your squad, really, for Cliftonville. And certainly a lot of youth talent coming through. Ryan Corrigan already showing his talent by finding the back of the nets, and it looks like Corin Madden will try and do the same here in the latter stages. And 2 minutes of normal time to go, and they're playing it about at the back there, Cliftonville. They're going to get the free kick that time as Jack Keeney was pushed over. I'm not too sure who Corin Madden has come onto the field for at the minute. It's Joe Gormley. I can confirm now, I've just seen it on my screen. So Joe Gormley off and Corin Madden on for Cliftonville for these final few minutes before they confirm their place in the Irish Cup final for the 2nd successive season. And looking to go back to back for the first time in 124 years. That is where they will look to be. Cliftonville, who took part in the first 3 Irish Cup finals of its history in 1881, 1882 and 1883, winning just one of those finals, lost the first 2 and won the 3rd ever final of the Irish Cup, their first ever title, by 5-0 against Ulster, just Ulster, at Bloomfield Ground in Knock in Belfast. 5-0 victors on that day, Cliftonville. So they have a steeped history in this competition. They were in the first 3 finals. They've won it 9 times. They want to make it double figures and become the 4th team in Irish Cup history to make it double figure titles. And they would love to do back-to-back League Cup victories. That is what they're 1 win away from after tonight from doing. And Jim Magilton will certainly be remembered for many's a year and be deemed probably a legend of Cliftonville if he can deliver that. Something that no one could have ever done in the certainly not in the 21st century, and barely even in the 20th century for Cliftonville, winning back-to-back Irish Cups. So we will have 4 added minutes at the end of the 90 here as we enter the additional time. The board goes up in the air and the 4th official reveals it is 4 minutes. So 3-0 to Cliftonville, and this tie wrapped up, done and dusted. It was probably done and dusted, but Alex Parsons made it 2 after 73 minutes, but Brian Corrigan with a tap-in certainly made sure that it was 3, and he certainly made sure that Cliftonville were heading to another Irish Cup final. And they're just playing out these final few minutes now for Cliftonville. Well, Ards, their Irish Cup success and dreams of another final will come to an end tonight. Their focus will be in trying to chase a chance at maybe a promotion playoff in the championship. They're 10 points off at 5 games to go with their season in the Irish Championship, and they know they have a tough task on their hands if they're going to try and garner promotion to the top division of Irish League football. And Cliftonville, they're in the bottom half of the Premiership for the split. We'll see what way they perform. They still have a chance. If they don't win the Irish Cup, they still have a chance at Europe at Cliftonville, with a possible playoff position in place. If they finish 7th in the Irish Premiership, they could claim a playoff spot, but that's not in their focus. They want to qualify for Europe through winning the Irish Cup again. They felt how it felt last season. They want to feel that feeling again of European success, European glory and qualification, and of course Irish Cup glory, something seldom known from this generation of Cliftonville fans up until last season. Corn Madden there, dispossessed in the middle. Ards trying to throw everything at it with 2 minutes to go, and that shot from distance pretty much sums up their night. Helen in the chat says, thanks for the stream. Listening from Australia. Great to have you in with us, Helen. Great to have you with us. Grant, thanks for joining me tonight. And Cliftonville certainly will be heading to another Irish Cup final. It seems to be that way with 1.5 minutes to go. And Jim Magilton, I'm sure, will have some, well, I would say, words of, well, obviously greatness, that the fact that they're going to another Irish Cup final, but maybe made it a bit difficult for themselves in that first half. Cliftonville not taking their chances, maybe not taking their chances as well in the second half. It probably could have been a lot more than 3, but they'll no doubt take a 3-0 victory. If they were coming into this one tonight, they would have snatched a 3-0 victory. That's what how much an Irish Cup final means to the fan base of Cliftonville, one of the most loyal in the Irish League. And their fans always come out to show themselves for big games. And with less than 1 minute to go, another Irish Cup final beckons for Cliftonville Football Club. The 9-time winners, the current holders, will have either Dungannon Swifts or Bangor to face in the final. Joe Gormley has been announced as player of the match from the in-stadium tannoy, which I wouldn't disagree with, to be fair. But I think Rory Hale has been absolutely fantastic, although not getting involved in the goals. But actually, he set up the second goal, apologies. Some fabulous play tonight from Rory Hale. Here's Madden. Madden breaking into the box. Corn Madden. Shot! Straight down the throat of the goalkeeper. And there's the final whistle. Ards are out. Cliftonville are heading to another Irish Cup final. 3 goals. A big performance, a dominant performance in terms of possession and chances. Maybe could add more in terms of goals. But Cliftonville will not care what happens. The result is what matters. And the result is Cliftonville are heading to another Irish Cup final. A massive result for them, albeit against the Championship side, who made it tough for them at times, but a lack of clinical edge might have let Cliftonville down if they didn't have the ruthless goal scorer Joe Gormley, who opened the scoring. Alex Parsons made it 2 with a deft header at the back post, with a confident one to make it 2. And Ryan Corrigan with the tap in of his life. The easiest goal he will probably score in football for Ryan Corrigan to make it 3. They could have had more tonight, Cliftonville. They really could have with the chances they created. Joe Gormley probably could have had 3 on his own tonight. He's announced as player of the match. The 35-year-old continues to give his all, game in, game out for Cliftonville, and no doubting he will look to hope for another success in Cliftonville Red come that Irish Cup final, whenever that comes about. For Ards, it's disappointment on the night, but they will know to get to a semi-final of an Irish Cup as a championship side is something that is not a path well trodden by sides in the second division of Irish League football. And they have done that alongside Bangor, who will hope to have a different result than their championship rivals tomorrow. That's it from the Irish Cup semi-final. Cliftonville are victors, and the holders are through to another final. It's finished at Windsor Park. Cliftonville 3, Ards 0. And that is it from us tonight. Great to have you with us. Thanks for joining us this evening. It's Cliftonville who are through to another final, and this time the Irish Cup. For the second successive season, they're looking to do it back-to-back for the first time in over 120 years. Can they do it under Jim Magilton's managerial ship? We will see when that comes rolling around. I'm sure we will have that game live here on LFS when that comes around. Who will they face, more interestingly? Will it be Dungannon or will it be Bangor? They've already knocked out one championship side in Ards tonight. Bangor would be the other if they get that far. But that's talking a little bit too quickly, because Dungannon and Bangor is tomorrow night at 5:30. We will have confirmation of the Irish Cup final when the details come through to us tomorrow evening after the final whistle at Seaview between Dungannon and Bangor. We'll see then. But it is finished tonight, no doubting who's going through. It's the holders, Cliftonville, who have booked their place in another Irish Cup final. That is it from us this evening. Great to have you with us for this evening's game. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, it's not just the only cup action we've got for you this weekend on LFS. We have FA Cup action for you to come. Tomorrow, a big game sees Brighton take on Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup. That's tomorrow evening. And then on Sunday afternoon, Bournemouth take on Manchester City here on LFS. Those are our FA Cup fixtures, but it's Cliftonville, the holders of the Irish Cup, that are through to another final. Thanks for joining us tonight. Night. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.